Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? It feels weird talking about football and then going to the Masters, but what isn't weird about this year? Of course, it was postponed in the spring due to the pandemic. They are playing this week. Tiger Woods finally gets to defend his crown. Sergio Garcia, the 2017 champion, had to withdraw. He tested positive for COVID, so he will not be there. Just looking over some of the odds for the Masters. Bryson DeChambeau is 8-1. Dustin Johnson 9-1. Jon Rahm 11-1. Justin Thomas 12-1. Rory McIlroy 14-1. Then we drop down a little bit here. Look at some of the bigger names in the sport. Bubba Watson 28-1, as well as Patrick Reed 28-1. Colin Morikawa, the young stud, he is 30-1. Tiger Woods, your defending champion, 35-1. Jordan Spieth, former champion.
That's a fun bet.
Yeah, that is. And this is a course where if Tiger
I have till Thursday to place that bet, right?
If Tiger, the play starts on Thursday, a little earlier this year because it gets darker in November than it does in April. So make sure you check your times on it. But as we saw last year, Tiger Woods minus 13. If he locks in, he knows how to win on that course. It was his fifth title a year ago. Jordan Spieth, the 2015 champion, he is 40-1. Sergio was 60-1, but of course the withdrawal. Ricky Fowler 66-1. Phil Mickelson 80-1. Gary Woodland, there's an old name for you, 100-1. Then you start getting real deep. Graham McDowell 250-1. Fred Couples, I didn't even know Fred Couples was still playing competitive golf. He is 500-1. And won a blast from the past. Vijay Singh 1,000-1. And you go all the way down. Jose Maria Olazabal, Sandy Lyle, and Larry Mize are all 2,000-1. So if you want to just throw a couple of bucks at the wall, and if you can afford to throw $10 away, that's gonna hammer hard on you if they find a way to win.
Yeah, just pick a couple.
Earlier today, I made a pick. The Golf Etc. in Lancaster. Tommy Matani, I believe is. I always pronounce his name wrong. I know you know him and their family. He is the new owner of the Golf Etc.
I saw that
store in Lancaster. So super exciting. If you're in the Central PA area and you like golf, check out Golf Etc.
I can never remember Matani, but either way, check out the man's
Tommy's
store.
A great dude, awesome golfer, and super excited for him. They have a contest on their Facebook page where you predict the winner and what their final score will be. So I'm going to make my pick here just as I did on that page. I'm going to go with Justin Thomas at minus 14 for the tournament to walk away
minus
with
14.
The green jacket. Yeah. If you look over the past couple of years, Tiger last year minus 13. Patrick Reed was minus 15. Sergio Garcia in 2017 was minus 9. Danny Willett was minus 5 in 2016, and Jordan Spieth was minus 18 back in 2015. Don't know if and this is kind of a tricky one going into because it's going to be a different light because different time of day, different time of year. The course is going to look a little bit different. It looks fantastic with the fall colors, but it is going to be a very different looking and feeling Masters. So, will the scores be better? Will they be a little bit worse? But I'm going to go.
Get some falling leaves or recovery shots easier. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they're still going to do an immaculate job at keeping that course pretty spot free as much as they can.
Well, I mean, as far as if you hit that one into the woods, is there less foliage to block your path out?
Maybe you may have a few bit more
That's
resty
the interesting
shots.
thing of playing in the fall. A lot of things in your way that may not be in your way.
Lord knows I play better in the fall and winter than I do in the spring and summer. That's for sure.
We're also fat. We sweat a lot less.
Well, that's true.
in the fall, unless you're in Florida, then you sweat just as much.
Right.
But either way, I'm going to take a little bit different path. Maybe I'll get on the Facebook page there and make my prediction there as well. But we definitely differ. I do think I think Tom's going to do just fine. I don't see any reason why not. I would love to be the guy that sits here and tells you Tiger Woods is going to repeat, because I hope he does, and I am probably going to make that bet at those odds, just so everybody's aware. But I don't think he's going to be the factor. I'm going to take the big heavy hitter. That's what I'm going to take. Grip it and rip it, knock it around, try to catch up with me on your second shot. I'm going to take DeChambeau.
Wow. Okay.
To win the Masters. I like DeChambeau.
Wow.
I like the heavy hitter. And also, I read an article about it before, like it was a kind of being hilarious, but I do love the idea of how large they're going to have to make that green jacket to fit the guy's built like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods is going to have to hold a jacket that if he held up would just
Tiger's going to get on a step ladder to get the jacket on.
Oh man, it's going to be incredible. He might not be able to hold the jacket up after playing golf. If he has to play full 4 days, he may not be able to hold a jacket that long.
Did you see Rahm's hole-in-one on the practice round today where they skip it across the water?
Oh no, I heard about it on the.
It is unreal. It is an unreal shot. It really is. But yeah, so the
I'm
Masters.
Definitely going to catch that on the replay. I'm going to take DeChambeau. You want me to take my score? It's very easy to make up shots when your first shot
goes 400 yards
on the green. Now it's not a course that's super friendly for long hitters either. But
Bubba's done it. Like Bubba's the closest thing.
Yeah.
To what DeChambeau does.
So it can happen. I think it will happen because he's not just a club it and need it to go straight. He can finesse his drives enough. But I'm going to take him at I'm actually going to go lower scored. I'm going to take it 18 under.
Jeez, dude, it is unreal to watch the spin that pro golfers can put on the ball. Like I went to the Women's Open when it was at Lancaster a couple years ago, and the hole number 10 on Lancaster goes out a couple hundred yards, and then it turns. I mean, it's a pretty good pretty good dog leg about halfway out, and like I'm watching these golf and they hit it. It's it goes 210 yards straight, and then it turns. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you do that? Like it is amazing for them to be able to go. Yeah, I'm gonna make this ball turn at 210 yards. Like
I said 18, I meant 16. I was going to beat you by a score, and for my brain, I somehow had you at 17, and I got real excited about 18, and then I did the math on it. I'm like, that's not what I wanted.
I want 16. That's a lot more.
Over 4 days, those two shots, you just never know.
Yeah, it always does.
All right, like 16 under DeChambeau, your Masters champion, and the largest Masters champion in the history.
Absolutely. Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Then we're going to really quick here, Sean, look at, of course, the NBA, NHL seasons normally are about a month or so in. Right now, they're still deciding when to come back. The NBA, I think just earlier today, everything is getting finalized. The NBA will get back to play on December the 22nd. They are going to have a 72-game season. I think normally they have, 76? So they're planning on a 72-game season for the NBA. Wishing the best of luck. I saw as we were on the air the Knicks, all their facilities are being shut down because they did have.
They're being nixed.
They're being. That's good. But due to a positive test, so we're gonna see how everything goes there. The NHL still hoping, they're still targeting January 1st for their return to play. They're still hoping to play a full 82 game season, but the NHL wants to get their normal calendar schedule back on track for 2021-2022, where you start in October. So they are kind of admitting that they have to be willing to shorten the season a little bit this year, get the playoffs in probably by mid-August at the latest. to get back on track for an October start the following year. I did see as well, Commissioner Gary Bettman said today that they are exploring the idea of what they're calling like short-term hubs. So they're not going to do like full bubbles like they did for the playoffs, because they're not going to take these players away from their families for the duration of a season. But what they would basically be is whether it's a neutral site or you would actually like travel to one city as a cluster, but you would play somewhere between 10 and 12 games in about a 2-week span. Then you would go home for a week, and then do a
now,
travel.
Are they
to
just
somewhere
doing
else.
the week break? Like they say, go home for a week. Here's the issue I see with that is like if you want to play it in pods, like you almost need to build your schedule in pods where you're going to build. Like if you want to do a week at home, you need to give them like another week. Like unless you're really trusting guys to not go anywhere. Like that's the other big thing is like
Sure.
Like do you build in another week to like essentially quarantine and test before they have like a step into the bubble?
So, I don't think so, but I mean, you got to trust, similar to the way the NFL is right now.
Well, that's true, and the NFL as a whole,
because they have a week off between games.
Their scares and they've had their disasters,
Sure.
and I'm not sure out of the woods. But for the most part, when you look at the number of players, and I would have never guessed we got this far.
No.
So they've managed to kind of lock these guys down. Having said that, I think it's a pretty good plan. I kind of like the chance to kind of build it. I would like to see them maybe as the season goes on stretch that time. Like don't make me do like 10 games, 10 games, 10 games. Maybe like give me like a slightly longer stretch of games in one, and then like maybe 2 weeks. Like I'd rather see that where like
Sure.
get as many games played while you're in the bubble as you possibly can, as long as those players are willing to be there. And then like if it takes them, give them 2 weeks at home instead. Like because the farther into the season goes, the more you've invested money wise, the more you're invested ad space wise, and the more you're invested
Absolutely.
fan base wise. So I feel like the longer it gets into it, the longer you should probably ask those players to be away. And maybe you, I don't know. I thought about it. Some interesting ideas I had were like a slow scale down to the playoffs. Like at a certain date, your bottom like 5 fall off. Like you know what I mean? Like you just knock off 2 from each side. Just sorry, you guys are out. And then you start jettisoning.
Sorry, Florida Panthers, you guys suck.
You guys are awful. You won't play anymore. Have fun at home.
Yeah.
And then you hit another date and you're like, well, we got to get rid of 4 more. Sorry, Vegas. You didn't get a chance to make that late season run. I'm afraid it's too little, too late. You're gone. And you just have this giant, you could even do it like Grand State. Anyway, either way, I hope hockey wins. I think hockey's the one sport that I think is most likely to pull it off, because last time they waited till they had it just right. I think basketball's plans. I'm not saying I don't trust basketball players. I'm not saying I don't trust the NBA. I'm not saying I don't trust anybody in the organization. The pro is their rosters are small. The con is they had breaches of a bubble.
Right.
Like within weeks, they had they had one bubble. Everybody come in. Nobody move. Players snuck out of a bubble.
Players snuck out. They ordered
a strip club for wings.
They ordered. Yeah, they went to for wings.
And
sure.
I'm not trying to perpetuate stereotypes. I'm not trying to say anything about any type of certain people. What I'm trying to say is, you also have a very young league. I think the NBA as a whole is very young. It's very like extravagant. It's also an incredible money making league. So I know they don't want to throw any money away. I think 72 games without is a long stretch to ask these players to move around. Some of them see cities they've never seen before, have a ton of money they've never seen before.
I think what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to really just, you're not bubbling, but when you travel, hit the venue, go back, go right. If you're
there's no time in the town.
If you're in a city, you go to the hotel and you're basically locked in the hotel. Stuff like that, They
were locked in Disney World.
I know,
and got out.
Yeah,
the happiest place. There's walking ducks and mice there, James, that talk to you and sing. They have princesses everywhere.
Right? Why are
these
you
players
leaving?
Are like, that's not good enough for me. I'm going.
Right? Why are you?
Go get some wings at a strip club.
But yes,
I think Disney probably had a strip club during the NBA bubble, probably.
Well, maybe.
And if not, the NBA planned it wrong.
Right,
saying.
right. You know, you
Just
give
put a
them
strip
you give
club
them
in the
chefs, you give
the
them
big Epcot ball there.
as much food and drink as possible. Yeah, they should have done a strip club. Why not? Why not?
Would have been, why not? Just build a tent, put some strippers in there, be like, have a good time.
Exactly, but
Also, you can never leave.
bubble the strippers in with the
Bubble the strippers in.
so
Lock it
that,
up.
and everybody's safe. Safety
They would have
first.
been paid very well.
Safety first. Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?